Hey, what's going on, guys? Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. So, it's going to be interesting this offseason. It feels like this has been an offseason that's already been filled with a lot of interest, twists, and turns the Dolphins' way between, the Tua fifth-year option, between the Heisman Trophy winner saying he wants to be here, between Tyreek Hill shenanigans on social media, some big-time defenders that may be out there for the Dolphins to acquire. Of course, the Vic Fangio thing. But this was interesting. So Jordan Poyer, star safety for the Buffalo Bills, he is once again kind of flirting. He's flirting with the idea of coming to the Miami Dolphins. Now, he's a free agent this year. So he has spoken openly that he may be done with the Buffalo Bills, that they may be moving into another direction, that he may be, they may not just have the dough to bring him back, but is looked upon for them, makes a ton of plays, picks, sacks, forced fumbles, looked upon a lot as the heart and soul of that defense, and maybe on his way out from Buffalo. And one of the teams, if he were to leave, that he apparently has made multiple public flirtations with, has been the Miami Dolphins. And he revealed this week on his podcast that he is actually friends and pretty close with Tua and that they met playing golf.
That offseason, we probably played like 10 rounds together last offseason. Probably about the same, played a bunch of rounds together. So he came to my golf event at the end of last offseason. Really good dude, man. Huge fan of Tua. And, I know he was dealing with a lot of stuff, concussion-wise this last offseason, but dude's a baller. Got a lot of respect for him and his craft. And so shout out to you, Tua. Happy birthday, brother. I'll be there with my wife at your birthday party Saturday night. I don't know who else will be there. Maybe we'll get we'll have to. I don't know. It'd be crazy to go to stay in the East and go come down here to South Florida now. So I might have to put my best suit on, put a nice little tie on. I know Mike McDaniels will be in there.
Well, he goes into some more stuff. It's a long. Go check out the rest of his podcast. But anyway, he goes into it saying how he knows Mike McDaniel too. But that's something right there, dude. That's basically openly saying it'd be kind of crazy if I stayed in the East. He had another part of this where he was talking about, I'd love to be in a place where they wouldn't take half of my money. I could go to a no state income tax situation, play in the warm weather. He talked about a lot of the stuff on his exit out of Buffalo about just a lot of the heavy stuff, even just dealing with, the weather in Buffalo, the weather emergencies in Buffalo. Not that we don't have hurricanes down here and things like that are crazy, but look, I think you've heard from Vic Fangio to plenty of free agents. It's awesome living down here. You're not going to find a lot of people, especially if you're a well-off professional athlete. Not going to find a lot of places that are more inviting to come live, and especially if you are a fan of playing golf. This is going to be, if you like golf and no state taxes, well, I think you found your haven here. And if you guys don't recall, back in, when was this? This was right as the offseason got going. This was still as the playoffs were going. Jordan Poyer liked a comment that said, "We need you in Miami, pair you with Javon Holland. That would be crazy." And he liked that comment. So he has let it be known on multiple occasions that the idea of playing in Miami does appeal to him. I'm not sure what the dough is there, what it would take to get a guy like Jordan Poyer into the fold. And we also know that the Dolphins have a lot of financial things that they got to do on that defensive side between re-signing guys that are free agents, Byron Jones. There's a lot of things that can happen on that defensive side, and it'll be interesting because it does feel like very much on the offensive side, I think everybody's going to pretty much be back. I think that I don't know if there's going to be some big offensive line swing. I think that they're going to go with the hope that, Tua can get rid of the ball quick, that they can, get some development out of these young guys for God's sakes. But the defense is a lot of stuff that's up in the air between, other than the young guys are going to be there, Wilkins and Holland and Jalen Phillips and probably Jerome Baker. Everybody else is kind of like, where they get, and Zach Sealer's agent's coming out and saying that he wants a new contract. But one of the things that I would love about this more than anything, not only that Jordan Poyer is a great player, I love the idea of going and taking away one of your biggest rivals, taking away one of their leaders. I love that. Reminds me a lot, basketball-wise, reminds me of the Heat when they went and got P.J. Tucker for the 1 year, taking him away from the Milwaukee Bucks. People talked about on Milwaukee, that has mattered. And we've seen this year with Miami not having P.J. Tucker. It has mattered. It has been a hard thing trying to replace PJ Tucker. And so I do think that, and good God, did these Bills fans, and when Jordan Poyer wasn't there for the Miami game this year, oh, did we hear bellyaching? Oh, you guys beat us. You beat us with the Heat and you beat us with no Poyer. Did we? I mean, we didn't stop hearing that all over the weeks that he wasn't there. Oh, no Jordan Poyer. The guy's a dog. Like, look, he's played through. He had to drive because he had a collapsed lung, so he drove to a game. Just kind of speaks. It reminds me of Teron Armstead, that he's going to do anything, absolutely anything that he can to get out there. And I love that, man. The idea that if he seems to, if you have a good relationship with the QB, good relationship with the coach, like the idea of pairing with Javon Holland, weaken the Buffalo Bills, all those things are pretty awesome. They all are. They all are very, very intriguing. The downside, look, he's going to be 32 in April, which isn't ancient, but he is. But he has been dealing with more injuries over the last couple of years. He was an Iron Man really before this season. He was playing 15, 16 games basically every single year. Outside, I think he had like a kidney laceration at one point, which is kind of freakish. But this year with Buffalo, missed most of his time with an elbow and some, I think it was the ribs, the collapsed lung that he had to deal with. He got a concussion in the divisional round. So, definitely dealt with more stuff this year, but I don't think enough to look. You signed Teron Armstead. That guy was playing 12 games every single year. I think that Chris Greer has made it known that injuries are not necessarily what scares you. I think that probably with the Dolphins have to look at it as, you have Brandon Jones coming back. Is it really a position of need in more spots when you're getting your guys healthy? But Brandon's very young. Jordan, while Brandon's really good at getting after the quarterback, Jordan maybe has a little bit more of those ball skills that you can have back there alongside Javon Holland. So it's I don't think it's the biggest need out there, but I could definitely see why it would be intriguing to him. I definitely could see why it'd be intriguing to the Dolphins. Also got to be wary that maybe he's doing a little negotiation ploy here. You do a little bit of public flirtation with your biggest rival if you do want to stay in Buffalo and they don't want to face you. That could be an element of this too. That he's trying to put it out there that hey, Buffalo, look at this. I'm partying with Mike McDaniel this week. Peep it. Tell me what you think of that. So that's an interesting one. The other thing that's interesting is, I don't know if you guys saw this. We talked about this on Tobin and Leroy a lot, but Jalen Ramsey was tied to the Dolphins. And not really a rumor, but it was kind of an idea thrown out by Pro Football Focus about the Dolphins trading for Jalen Ramsey, Rams cornerback, used to play for the Jaguars. Notorious talker. I mean, just absolutely loves John. Decleated Tyreek Hill at a flag football game. So they had proposed something to the effect of Jalen Ramsey for basically 2 second-round picks. And Jalen Ramsey's owed some money, and there was a report from Tom Pelissero, who was actually the guy who broke the Fangs news. He said the Rams have had trade talks with six-time Pro Bowl cornerback Jalen Ramsey, and the league sources now believe it's very likely Ramsey is going to be dealt in the coming weeks. He's 28, due $17 million in 2023, and a front-loaded deal that averages $20 million, and LA is clearing up cap space. They're in pay the piper mode when it comes to their team because of all the money that they finally spent with getting to the Super Bowl. And the Dolphins are in a little bit of that. They're not quite in the all-in spot like they were. They don't have any first-round picks this year. Part of that has to do with Stephen Ross and Bruce Beal getting caught tampering. But the Dolphins have definitely been taking some home run cuts. And, the PFF article that they were talking about, they think that he would be a dynamite fit for Vic Fangio's offense. Certainly they need to shore up some things with the uncertainty of Byron Jones. A lot of young guys, a lot of injuries, some free agents that they got to deal with. Where is Xavier Howard at? So it was an interesting idea. So the idea that it is out there, they do believe that he is going to be out on the move soon. Pretty intriguing and seeing where it is. And I know obviously a lot of Dolphin fans also interested in the idea that Bobby Wagner's out there too. So a lot of big names out there. A lot of changes could be coming to this Dolphins defense that certainly has, I think, some good foundational pieces, but could use some leadership and tweaking as well.